Today's scripture reading is John chapter 15, verses 12 to 17. Listen to Jesus as he shares his thoughts on how we should live. This is my commandment: love one another as I have loved you. There is no other greater commandment than this, that someone should lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for a servant does not know what his master is about. I have called you friends, because I have disclosed to you everything that I have heard from my Father. You did not choose me, I chose you. I appointed you to go on and bear fruit, fruit that will last, so that the Father may give you whatever you ask in my name. This is my commandment to you: love one another. Thanks be to God for this clear teaching and undoubted challenge. Amen.
Hello everyone, I'm here with a craft for this week. For this week we are going to make some friendship bracelets, so hopefully we'll be able to make something together that looks a little bit like this. So for this craft you're going to need some wool, probably 2 different colours. You could mix and match and do lots if you like. A piece of cardboard, something like an empty cereal box, some scissors, a pen or a pencil, a ruler, and you're going to need something as a weight, which I'll explain in a minute, but I've got a set of keys here, and you can see that actually you can make a short little friendship bracelet to be a key ring if you prefer. So here we get started. So the first thing we're going to do is to make a little weaving loom, really. It's a little disc, so it's going to look a bit like this. So that's what we use our cardboard box for. So it works quite well if it's 12 centimetres square. So I'm going to draw a nice straight line along the edge of the cereal box here. That's 12 centimetres. And then we're going to do our best to make it square. And if you mark with your ruler where 6 centimetres is along the side of the square. We're going to join those lines up in a cross. You'll see why in a minute. Then we need our scissors to cut out the square. There we go. Mine was a little bit wonky, so I've adjusted it a bit as I've gone. Now we are going to need to make some little marks along the top and the bottom. So I did mark mine with a T for the top and a B for the bottom, so that when you get weaving, if you get distracted, you know where you are. And then the little tabs are going to be a finger width apart. So if you put your finger over the line and then just make a mark on either side, and then finger width and another mark on either side, and then turn it round, and at the bottom do the same thing. So it should look like that. So we've got 4 little marks at the top and 4 at the bottom. The other thing we're going to need to do in a minute is cut a hole in the middle. So just roughly this kind of size and shape. It's a couple of centimetres, maybe by about 4 centimetres in the middle. And then what we're going to do is pop this over something soft and make a hole in the middle. Might want to do that with a sharp pencil. Or get somebody grown up to help with that. And cut the middle out. There we go. And now these marks here, we're going to cut down into those marks about 1 centimetre, it's probably about this long, with our scissors. Just like that. So we've done the same at both ends, both top and the bottom. We've got 4 little cuts, and then on this left hand side of the square we're going to make a cut the same length into our middle line. So here is our weaving loom. So now we're going to get our wool ready. If you want to make a bracelet that goes around your wrist, you need it to wrap around your wrist roughly 3 times to get the length of wool. I've worked out that it roughly works out to be from the tips of your fingers up to your elbow. So it's this kind of length of wool that you need. And you're going to need 4 pieces of each colour. I've chosen red and purple today because one of the things we're thinking about is remembrance. It's Remembrance Sunday today, this week, and red is to remind me of the poppies. And some of you might have seen that poppies this year, some people have put purple in their poppies to remember the animals that we're part of the Army and the Navy. So there we are. I've got 4 pieces of red wool and 4 pieces of purple. But you can choose any colour you like. And we're going to line them up together like this. And the first thing to do is we're going to tie a knot in the end. But this is a little bit fiddly. I'll explain why. You need 1 extra spare piece of wool. So I've got a different colour so that you can see where I'm going to put it. And that's to attach our weight so that when we're doing our weaving it stays nice and neat. So what we're going to do is get all of our pieces of wool, we're going to tie a knot. So if you wrap them around your finger and then tuck all of those up through the hole so that we've got a knot like this. And then before we pull the knot really tight, we're going to sneak this little extra piece of coloured wool in through the hole like that, and then we'll pull tight. There we go. So this is going to be the bottom end of our friendship bracelet, and the green piece we're going to use to tie our weight. So I have got some keys. I'm just going to tie the piece of green through the key ring loop. It doesn't have to be neat and tidy, we're going to cut it off later. Like so. And then we're going to attach it to our loom. So we're going to poke all these pieces of wool up through the hole with the weight and the knot at the bottom. And we're going to separate the 2 colours and put 1 strand of each in each of our little grooves. There we go. So we put it so it's quite tight so that the knot is up near the cardboard, and then we're ready to start our weaving. So before we do, I'm just going to explain that the craft today, our friendship bracelet, is thinking about linking with the Bible verse about loving one another. So you might decide that you want to show somebody that you love them by making them a friendship bracelet. And while you're weaving, you could pray for them or think of them as you make it and then give it to them as a gift to show them your love. So as we get going, this one here, we're going to pull out from that notch and tuck it into the notch on the side, like that. And then we're going to take the piece of wool that's opposite here and take it out and put it in the spare notch. And then take the red one at the top like this and put it in the spare notch. And then this purple one at the bottom into the spare hole. The next one down into here. The next one up into here. Down into here. Up into here. And then you'll see we've got a gap. We've only got 3 along the bottom. So this one on the side we bring round and put there. And then we do the same thing again. So we take that to there. And we just keep going, doing exactly the same thing over and over again. So it probably took me about half an hour to make a bracelet like this. So you don't want to watch me to do it for all that time. So I'll do a little bit more so that you can see, and then we will catch up with each other later and I'll show you how to finish off the bracelet. So hopefully you can see that underneath you start to get a lovely friendship bracelet. So you keep going until you think it's long enough to go around your wrist or the wrist of the person it's going to be for. And I think I'm nearly there. So I'm going to show you how to take it off and tie it into a bracelet. So basically just pull the bits of wool out of your notches like that. There we go. So the first thing we'll do is we'll cut it off the weight with our extra colour piece of wood. Move that out of the way. And then what we've got to do is make a loop at this end. So this is a little bit fiddly. It doesn't matter which of the pieces of wool that you choose, I don't think. So I'm just going to choose one that's in the middle, and we'll go with my red piece here. So hopefully if I pop it on the table you'll be able to see. So we're going to make that into a loop like this, and then we've got to wrap the piece of wool that we've made the loop with round the top of the bracelet and the bottom of these loose pieces of wool. So we're going to get that piece of wool, holding onto the loop with your thumb, and wrap it around. We're going to go once, twice, and if there's enough wool we'll do it 3 times. The first couple of times we're going to pull it tight like that, and then when you get to the last time you leave it a little bit loose and put the free end down through the bit that you've been winding around the bracelet. I hope you can see that. and then pull. And what should happen is that the wool that you've pulled around has left a loop here, and then you've got a little end bit here. So I'm just going to tidy up these ends. We can trim off any that we don't want. So you might want to leave a tassel on each end. So if I cut it like that, and I'm going to trim and tidy the other end. So it's about the same length, like that. So we've got a friendship bracelet with a loop at the end. And you can adjust this, the size of this a little bit. But the idea is that this loop here will go around this knot, and that makes it into a bracelet that you can then pop around your wrist. So the Bible reading today is somewhere that Jesus tells us to love one another. This craft is a Japanese craft with often you have a circle with lots of little grooves around it and can make all sorts of different braids, and it's called kumihimo, which is Japanese, literally meaning come together or gathered threads. But I quite like the idea of come together. It's something that perhaps we can do to bring us closer to other people that we might love during times when we can't see them. You could make a bracelet for them or a key ring and send it in the post. Lots of love to everybody. I hope you have fun doing this week's craft. Bye bye for now.